Hello mathematicians, puzzlers, and other curious people. In this video, we are going to take a look at a way of summarizing data using what's called a box plot or a box and whisker plot. It's the same thing. So here I have my data set and a dot plot that I already drew of it in a previous video. I would like to get a less visually cluttered representation of the same data set. So I will use the same axis to help me compare them, but I'm going to make what's called a box and whisker plot, or just a box plot, and that uses what's called the 5-number summary. So the 5 numbers we need are the minimum, the median, the maximum, and the first and third quartiles. You might sometimes see the median referred to as the second quartile because those are numbers that are evenly spaced out throughout the data set. Now let's find those. So the minimum clearly is 0. We can easily see that from this. The maximum we can easily see is 15. The median is the middle number. Now, not the middle number on the axis, but the middle number out of the data set. That's a little harder to find. So I'm going back to my long list of numbers here to find out which one it would be. So I notice I'm going from rows 2 to 36. That's 35 numbers. If I come in from the ends and cross out or somehow mark them, so I'm just going to put a dot by the ones I've already come in as far as. So that's 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 5. There's 5 again, and there's the next 5. So now we've come in close enough that we don't have to scroll back and forth. There's the next 5 from the high end and the next 5 from the low end. So now we've got the middle 5 numbers, and of that, the 8 is the third of those 5 numbers. So that's our median. 8. We can see that on the dot plot. Let's see, that's the first of the 8s. So that would be this one right here. So we have the same number of dots over here before the median and over here, so after the median. Now the quartiles are the same idea, but they are only considering less than the median and more than the median. So I'm making this mark to mark off the median, and now I'm going to delete the small marks that I made in the spreadsheet as I was going along. So to find the first quartile, that's going to be the median of what's less than the median. So these right here. So again, I can count from the high end by 5 and from the low end by 5. Well, and now I can't come in by 5 for both, but I can come in by 3 for both. And I see that here I have my first quartile, and that's a 3, and it's the third 3. So because that's a median of a half, there are the same number of dots here and here. Kind of looks like a kidney bean, doesn't it? The third quartile is very much the same idea. I want to show you how we can find that by using the dots directly, though. We can cross out 2 and 2, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 2 and 2, 1 and 1, and get that median. Remember, the median of the upper half is the third quartile, and then we can take out those helper marks. So you can make this either from a dot plot or from the original strictly numerical data set. And because those are medians of the halves, there should be the same number of dots in actually each of these green groups. So our quartiles were 3 and 12. Now, one thing you need to know about taking a median is if you're ever taking a median of an even number of things, you'll get down to 2 at the end instead of 1. You just go halfway between them. Now, this is our 5-number summary, but I promised you a plot. So we put a vertical mark at our minimum, our first quartile, our median, our third quartile, and our maximum. Then you draw lines between the first and third quartiles above and below. That's the box part of the box plot. After that, you draw just a single line from the middle of here to the middle of there, and likewise over here. Those are the whiskers. In each of these parts of the box and whisker plot, there should be 25% of the data set because that's how we made it, by splitting in half and then the halves in half again. So they should each be 25%. Now, in this case, it's not too distorted, but even if one of the whiskers were really, really long, it would still only be 25%. So that is how a box and whisker plot looks compared to a dot plot. Calculator!